your attention is under attack. Every second of every day, something is fighting for your focus. Your phone buzzes. Notifications pop up. People interrupt. Your mind wanders. And before you know it, hours have passed, and you've accomplished nothing meaningful. You feel busy, but not productive. Scattered, but not focused. Exhausted, but not fulfilled. This is the crisis of the modern world. Not a lack of opportunity. Not a lack of information, but a complete destruction of focus. You already know focus matters. Everyone does. But knowing and doing are not the same thing. You've tried to focus. You've told yourself to concentrate. You've promised to stay on task. And then something pulled you away. Again. And again. Until you started believing that maybe you're just not a focused person. Maybe you don't have the discipline. Maybe focus is a gift some people have and you don't. But that's a lie. Focus is not a personality trait. It's a skill that can be developed, strengthened, and mastered. But not through willpower alone. Not through motivation that fades. Not through hoping you'll magically become more disciplined tomorrow. Focus is built through a formula. A specific, repeatable system that removes the guesswork. That eliminates the struggle. That makes concentration not just possible, but inevitable. This audiobook is that formula. Not theory. Not fluff. Not feel-good advice that sounds nice but changes nothing. This is the exact framework for building focus so strong that distractions bounce off you. For creating concentration so deep that hours feel like minutes. For developing attention so trained that you control where it goes, not the other way around. This is the unbreakable focus formula, and by the end, you'll know exactly how to build it. Not someday. Starting today. Because your goals are waiting. Your potential is waiting. Your life is waiting. And none of it happens without focus. So let's build it. Let's make your focus unbreakable. Chapter 1. Understand that focus is your most valuable asset. You don't have a time problem. You have a focus problem. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. The difference between people who achieve their goals and people who don't is not how much time they have. It's how well they focus the time they're given. Time is the resource. Focus is the multiplier. You can have all the time in the world, but without focus, you'll waste every second. You can have just 1 hour, but with complete focus, you'll accomplish more than most people do in a day. Focus is the most valuable asset you own. More valuable than money. More valuable than connections. More valuable than talent. Because focus is what turns everything else into results. Talent without focus produces nothing. Money without focus gets wasted. Connections without focus lead nowhere. But focus. Focus turns small talent into mastery. Limited resources into abundance. Brief moments into breakthroughs. That's power. That's leverage. That's what separates those who build from those who just dream. Yet most people treat focus like it's unlimited, like they can scatter their attention across a dozen things and still expect quality results. They check their phone while working. They multitask constantly. They let every notification interrupt their flow. They wonder why they feel behind, why nothing gets finished, why their work feels mediocre. It's because their focus is fragmented, broken into tiny pieces, spread so thin that nothing gets the depth of attention it needs to be excellent. The truth is brutal but necessary. You will never build anything meaningful with scattered focus. Never. You might stay busy. You might look productive. But your results will always be average. Because excellence requires depth. Depth requires sustained attention. And sustained attention only comes from protecting your focus like it's the most precious thing you own. Because it is. Think about your biggest achievements. The moments you're most proud of. I guarantee they happened when you were deeply focused. When distractions disappeared. When time seemed to stop. When you were completely absorbed in what you were doing. That's not coincidence. That's the power of focus. It's the only state where real creation happens. Where real learning occurs. Where real progress is made. Everything else is just motion. Activity without advancement. Busy work that leads nowhere. Your attention is currency. Every moment you give it to something, you're making an investment. The question is, are you investing in things that matter? Or are you spending it on things that steal from your future? Social media, gossip, drama, fear, mindless entertainment. These things consume your focus and give nothing back. They leave you depleted, empty, wondering where the day went. That's not living. That's existing. That's letting life happen to you instead of directing it. Focus is also what creates fulfillment. Not just achievement, but satisfaction. When you're deeply focused, you're fully present. You're not thinking about the past or worrying about the future. You're here. Now. Now. Engaged. That presence is where joy lives. Where meaning exists. Where life actually happens. Most people miss their own lives because their focus is always somewhere else. Always divided. Always distracted. They're physically present but mentally absent. And then they wonder why nothing feels satisfying. The world is designed to steal your focus. Not by accident. By design. Every app, every platform, every device is engineered to capture and hold your attention. Because attention is money. Your focus is the product being sold. Companies spend billions figuring out how to hook you. How to keep you scrolling. How to make you check just one more time. They've weaponized psychology against you. And they're winning. Unless you decide to fight back. Fighting back means recognizing the value of your focus. Means treating it like the limited resource it is. You wouldn't leave your wallet open on the street. Why do you leave your attention open to anyone who wants it? You wouldn't let strangers take money from your bank account. Why do you let every notification take time from your life? Start seeing your focus for what it is. The raw material of your future. Every moment of focus you protect is a moment you can invest in building something that matters. This is not about becoming a monk. Not about eliminating all fun. Not about being rigid or joyless. This is about being intentional. About deciding what deserves your focus and what doesn't. About understanding that you can't focus on everything, so you must choose carefully. Every yes to one thing is a no to everything else. Every moment given to distraction is a moment stolen from your goals. That's the trade. That's the reality. That's what most people never understand. When you truly grasp that focus is your most valuable asset, everything changes. You stop treating your attention casually. You become protective of it, selective about where it goes. You start asking before every action, is this worth my focus? If not, you don't do it. Simple as that. Not because you're missing out, because you're focusing in on what actually builds the life you want, on what actually creates the results you need, on what actually deserves the one resource you can never get back once it's spent. The unbreakable focus formula starts here, with understanding, with recognition, with valuing your attention as the precious, limited, powerful asset it truly is. Until you see focus this way, you'll keep wasting it. Keep scattering it. Keep wondering why you're not where you want to be. But once you see it, once you really understand, everything else falls into place. Because now you know what you're protecting. Now you know what you're building. Now you know that focus isn't just important. It's everything. Chapter 2. Eliminate distractions before they eliminate your progress. You can't build focus in a distracted environment. Willpower alone won't save you. Motivation won't either. If your environment is filled with distractions, you'll fail. Not because you're weak, but because you're fighting an unwinnable battle. The solution isn't to fight harder. It's to eliminate the battle entirely. Remove the distractions before they remove your progress. That's not avoidance. That's strategy. Distractions come in two forms, external and internal. External distractions are the obvious ones. Your phone, notifications, noise, people interrupting. These are manageable. You can control your environment. You can silence your devices. You can create physical space between you and interruptions. Most people know this, but don't do it. They keep their phone on the desk. They leave notifications enabled. They work in noisy environments. Then they wonder why they can't focus. You can't expect concentration while surrounded by chaos. Start with your phone. It's the biggest focus killer in human history. More addictive than most drugs. Designed to hijack your attention every few minutes. You cannot build deep focus while your phone is accessible. Period. But it doesn't matter how disciplined you think you are. The mere presence of your phone reduces your cognitive capacity. Studies prove this. Just having it nearby, even face down, even silent, decreases your ability to concentrate. Your brain knows it's there. Part of your attention is always monitoring it, waiting for it to light up. That split attention kills focus. The solution is physical distance. When you need to focus, your phone goes in another room. Not on silent. Not face down. In another room. Out of sight. Out of reach. This feels extreme to most people. They panic at the thought. What if someone needs me? Here's the truth. Unless you're a surgeon on call, no one needs you in the next 2 hours. Nothing will burn down. No emergency will unfold. And if it does, they'll find you. But 99% of the time, nothing urgent happens. It's all just noise. Noise that destroys your focus and gives nothing back. Notifications must die. All of them. Not just during focus time. Always. Every notification is an interruption. Every interruption fractures your attention. It takes an average of 23 minutes to return to deep focus after an interruption. Think about that. One notification costs you 23 minutes of productive work. If you get interrupted 5 times in an hour, you're never reaching deep focus at all. You're spending the entire hour trying to recover from interruptions. That's not working. That's drowning. Turn off every notification that isn't absolutely critical. And be honest about what's critical. Your email is not critical. Social media is definitely not critical. That group chat is not critical. The news is not critical. Remove them all. Check these things on your schedule, not theirs. You decide when to look at email. You decide when to browse social media. You're in control. Not the algorithm. Not the app. You. That control is essential for focus. Your workspace matters too. Clutter kills focus. When your environment is messy, your mind becomes messy. Clear your desk. Remove everything except what you need for the current task. One task. One focus. Everything else is a visual distraction. Your brain processes everything in your field of vision. Every object requires a tiny bit of attention. Those tiny bits add up. A cluttered space creates a cluttered mind. A clean space creates space for concentration. Noise is another enemy. Not all noise, but unpredictable noise. Conversation you can't help but listen to. Music with lyrics when you're doing language work. Sudden sounds that grab your attention. If you can control your environment, make it quiet. If you can't, use tools. Noise-canceling headphones. White noise. Specific music designed for focus. Create an audio environment that supports concentration instead of disrupting it. But external distractions are only half the battle. Internal distractions are harder because you carry them with you. Your thoughts, your worries, your impulses. These are the enemies within. You can be in a perfect environment and still struggle to focus if your mind keeps wandering. If anxiety keeps pulling you away. If boredom makes you reach for distraction. Internal distractions require internal solutions. The first internal distraction is the untrained mind. Most people have never learned to direct their attention. Their mind wanders constantly. Jumps from thought to thought. They're passengers in their own consciousness. But focus is control. It's the ability to keep your attention where you place it. To notice when it wanders and bring it back. This is a skill. It requires training. Meditation is one path. Focused work is another. Either way, you must practice directing your attention. Must practice noticing distraction and returning to focus. This gets easier with repetition. Your attention becomes more obedient, more stable. More yours. Another internal distraction is the just one quick check impulse. You're working, focused. Then suddenly you want to check something. Email, torrents, social media, the news. It feels urgent. It's not. It's your brain seeking dopamine. Seeking the easy reward of novelty instead of the hard reward of deep work. Every time you give in to this impulse, you train your brain that distraction is acceptable. That focus is negotiable. That the impulse wins. You must break this pattern. When the impulse comes, notice it. Name it. This is the distraction impulse. Then consciously choose not to act on it. Return to your work. This is hard at first, but each time you resist, you strengthen your focus. Each time you give in, you weaken it. Eliminate the distractions systematically. Make a list of everything that typically breaks your focus. Your phone, email, tools, social media, noise, clutter, internal worries, random impulses. Then create a plan to remove or manage each one. Don't try to use willpower to ignore distractions. Use systems to eliminate them. Systems win. Willpower fails. When distractions are removed, focus becomes natural. When distractions remain, focus becomes a battle. Choose the easier path. Remove the obstacles. Clear the space. Create an environment where focus is the path of least resistance. You'll notice that as you eliminate distractions, your capacity for focus grows. At first, even 20 minutes of uninterrupted focus might feel challenging. But as you practice in a distraction-free environment, that 20 minutes becomes 40, then 60, then 90. Deep focus is like a muscle. It grows stronger with use, but only if you create the conditions for it to develop. You can't build muscle while being constantly interrupted. You can't build focus while being constantly distracted. Remove the distractions. Protect the space. Watch your focus grow from fragile to unbreakable. Chapter 3. Master single tasking in a multitasking world. Multitasking is a lie. Your brain cannot focus on two things at once. What feels like multitasking is actually rapid task switching. And every switch costs you. Costs you time. Costs you quality. Costs you mental energy. Multitasking makes you feel productive because you're busy. But busy is not the same as effective. You're moving fast but going nowhere. Accomplishing little while exhausting yourself completely. The science is clear. When you switch between tasks, your brain needs time to reorient, to remember where you were, to rebuild context. That switching time is dead time. Poor waste. If you're switching every few minutes, most of your time is spent switching, not working. You're getting a fraction of the results you could get with single tasking. Yet you feel like you're working harder, because you are. Multitasking is harder. It's just not better. Single tasking is radical in today's world. Everyone is doing 5 things at once. Checking email while on calls. Texting while working. Watching videos while eating. We've normalized fragmented attention. Made it seem necessary. But it's destroying our capacity for deep work. For real thought. For quality output. The people who achieve the most are not the ones doing the most things. They're the ones doing the right things with complete focus. To master single tasking, you must first accept that you cannot do everything. You have limited time, limited energy, limited attention. When you try to do multiple things at once, you're dividing your resources, giving each task a fraction of what it needs. The result is mediocre work across the board. But when you give one task your full attention, you produce excellent work. Excellence requires undivided attention. Mediocrity is what you get when attention is divided. Start by choosing one task, not 2, not 5. 1. Here's a 1. The most important task for this moment. The thing that, if done well, will actually move your life forward. Then, commit to doing only that task until it's complete, or until you've given it a solid block of focus time. No checking email. No glancing at your phone. No starting something else because this feels hard. One task. Full attention. That's single tasking. The first few minutes will feel uncomfortable. Your brain will protest. It wants the stimulation of multiple inputs. It wants variety. It wants the dopamine hit of checking something new. Ignore those wants. They're addictions, not needs. Sit with the discomfort. Keep your attention on the single task. After a few minutes, something shifts. Your brain settles. The resistance fades. You drop into focus. This is flow. This is where real work happens. Where quality emerges. Where hours feel like minutes, and you produce work that makes you proud. Single tasking also requires ruthless prioritization. You can't do everything, so what will you do? What actually matters? What moves the needle? What creates results? Most people fill their days with busy work. Tasks that feel productive but accomplish nothing important. They avoid the hard, meaningful work by staying busy with the easy, meaningless work. Single tasking forces you to confront this. When you can only do one thing, you better choose the right thing. Use the 80-20 principle. 20% of your tasks create 80% of your results. Find that 20%. Do those tasks first. Do them with complete focus. Give them the depth of attention they deserve. The other 80%? They can wait. They can be delegated. Or they can be deleted. Not everything needs to be done. Some tasks only exist because you haven't had the courage to say they don't matter. Single tasking gives you that courage. Because when you can only do one thing, you choose what truly counts. Another benefit of single tasking is energy management. Multitasking is exhausting. Your brain is constantly switching gears, never settling, never resting, always in transition. This burns mental energy at an unsustainable rate. By mid-afternoon, you're fried. Not because you worked so hard, but because you switched so much. Single tasking is actually less tiring. Your brain enters one mode and stays there. Settles into a rhythm. Uses energy efficiently. You can work longer with better results and less fatigue. Single tasking also improves quality. When you give something your full attention, you notice details you'd miss while distracted. You make connections you'd overlook while multitasking. You think deeply about the work instead of just skimming the surface. This depth creates better output, more creative solutions, fewer mistakes, higher standards. Your work becomes something you're proud of instead of something you just finished. People often resist single tasking because they fear falling behind. If I only focus on one thing, everything else won't get done. But the opposite is true. When you single task, you finish things faster and better. Which means you move through your important tasks more efficiently. Yes, some unimportant tasks won't get done. Good. They shouldn't. They're stealing time from what matters. Single tasking helps you see that clearly. Create blocks in your day for single tasking. 2-hour blocks work well. During that time, you do one thing. Only one thing. No email. No calls. No meetings. No interruptions. Just you and the task. If you do this once a day, that's 10 focused hours per week. That's more deep work than most people do in a month. That's how you build a career. How you create something meaningful. How you move from average to excellent. Through sustained, single-focused attention on what truly matters. You'll also find that single tasking makes work more enjoyable. Multitasking is stressful. Your brain is always in alarm mode. Always watching for what's next. Always monitoring multiple threads. That's anxiety-inducing. Single tasking is calm. You're here, doing this. That's it. Nothing else exists in this moment. That presence is peaceful. It makes work feel less like a burden and more like engagement, like craft, like something worth doing well. The world will push back. People expect instant responses, immediate availability. But you don't owe anyone your constant attention. You can batch responses. Check email twice a day instead of 20 times. Return calls during specific windows. Train people that you're not always available. And watch what happens. Nothing bad. Life continues. Work gets done. But your focus improves dramatically. Because you've chosen single tasking over scattered attention. Chosen quality over reactivity. Chosen focus over chaos. Master single tasking, and you master your work. Master your time. Master your results. This is not a small skill. This is the foundation of excellence, of achievement, of a life well lived. Because life happens in moments. And moments require presence, require focus, require your full attention. When you give that attention one task at a time, you're not just being productive. You're being present. You're being alive. And that's what unbreakable focus truly means. Not doing more, but being more. One task at a time. One moment at a time. Fully focused. Completely engaged. Actually present. Chapter 4. Build focus through deliberate practice rituals. Focus is not something you have or don't have. It's something you build through practice, through ritual. Wali sang dun de tol, through deliberate repeated action that trains your attention like you'd train any other skill. Athletes don't just hope to perform well. They practice specific movements thousands of times. Musicians don't just show up and play. They drill fundamentals daily. Your focus requires the same approach. Deliberate practice. Consistent ritual. Systematic development. A focus ritual is a set of actions you perform before focused work. The same actions. In the same order. Every time. This ritual signals to your brain, now we focus. It creates a transition. From distracted mode to concentrated mode. From scattered to singular. Your brain learns the pattern. Learns that these actions mean focus time. And after enough repetitions, the ritual itself triggers the focused state. You're training your attention through conditioning. Your ritual should be simple but specific. Maybe it starts with clearing your desk, then putting your phone in another room, then setting a timer, then taking 3 deep breaths. then opening your work. Same sequence every time. This consistency is what makes it powerful. Your brain recognizes the pattern, begins to anticipate focus. By the time you sit down, you are already dropping into concentration. The ritual has done half the work. The ritual also creates a boundary, a clear line between unfocused time and focused time. Without this boundary, focus feels nebulous. You're never quite sure when you're supposed to concentrate, so you never fully commit. But with a ritual, there's no confusion. When you perform the ritual, focus time begins. When you complete the work, focus time ends. That clarity makes it easier to go deep. You're not constantly wondering if you should be doing something else. This is focus time. Everything else waits. Deliberate practice means focusing on focus itself. Not just using focus to work, but practicing the skill of concentration. This is different. This is meta-training. You're training your attention to be more stable, more controllable, more yours. One effective practice is timed focus sessions. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Focus on one task. When your mind wanders, notice and return. That's one rep. The wandering isn't failure. The returning is success. You're practicing the return. That's what strengthens focus. Track your practice. Keep a log of focus sessions. Write down how long you focused. How many times you got distracted. How many times you successfully returned. This data is valuable. It shows you're improving. Shows that your ability to maintain attention is growing. That progress is motivating. It proves the practice works. And progress creates momentum. You want to beat yesterday's numbers. Want to focus longer. Return faster. This gamification makes practice engaging instead of tedious. Another powerful practice is increasing session length gradually. Start with 25 minutes if that's comfortable. When that becomes easy, go to 30, then 40, then 60, then 90. You're building your focus endurance, training your brain to sustain attention for longer periods. This is crucial because deep work requires time. You can't solve complex problems in 10-minute bursts. You need sustained focus. And sustained focus comes from training your capacity progressively. The time of day matters too. Most people have natural peaks and valleys in their energy. Find your peak hours. When are you most alert? Most capable? Most clear-headed? Reserve those hours for your hardest focus work. Use your best time for your best work. Don't waste peak hours on email or meetings. Use them for the tasks that require your sharpest focus. Respect your biology. Work with it, not against it. Your ritual should also include preparation. You can't focus well if you don't know what you're focusing on. Before each focus session, clarify the task. What exactly will you do? What does done look like? What's the desired outcome? This clarity prevents mid-session confusion, prevents you from wasting focus time figuring out what to do. You know the target. You just aim and execute. Clear goals make focus easier. Rest is part of the ritual too. You cannot sustain focus indefinitely. Your brain needs breaks, needs recovery. Build breaks into your practice. After a focus session, take 5-10 minutes completely off. Stand up. Move. Look away from screens. Let your mind wander. This isn't wasted time. This is recovery time. It allows your focus to reset, allows you to return to the next session fresh. Without breaks, focus degrades, quality drops. You're better off doing 90 focused minutes with breaks than 3 unfocused hours without them. Make your environment support your ritual. Have a dedicated focus space if possible. A place where you only do focused work. Your brain will associate that space with concentration. The moment you sit there, focus mode begins. If you don't have a dedicated space, create environmental cues. A specific playlist, a particular drink, a certain lighting setup. These cues train your brain. Tell it, now we focus. The more consistent your environment, the easier focus becomes. Eliminate decision fatigue from your ritual. Decide everything in advance. What you'll work on, where you'll sit, what tools you'll need, how long you'll focus. Don't leave these decisions for focus time. That wastes mental energy on logistics instead of work. Make all those decisions once. Then repeat the same process. The ritual becomes automatic, which frees your brain to focus on the actual work instead of the setup. Your ritual should feel good. It shouldn't be a chore. Find ways to make it satisfying. Maybe you light a candle. Maybe you make your favorite tea. Maybe you wear specific clothes that feel focused. These small pleasures make the ritual something you look forward to, something you want to do. When the ritual feels good, you'll practice more. You'll build consistency. And consistency is what makes focus unbreakable. Over time, your ritual becomes powerful, almost magical. The act of performing it shifts your mental state. You go from scattered to focused in minutes. Not through willpower, through conditioning, through training, through the accumulated power of hundreds of repetitions. This is how elite performers work. They have pre-performance rituals that trigger their peak state. You're doing the same thing, creating a trigger for your focus state, building it through deliberate practice, making it reliable, making it yours. The ritual also builds confidence. When you practice focus regularly, you trust yourself to focus. You know you can concentrate when needed. That confidence reduces anxiety, reduces the fear that you won't be able to focus when it matters. You've done it before. You've trained for this. You're ready. That readiness is what makes focus unbreakable. Not hoping you can focus, knowing you can. Because you've built the skill through deliberate practice, through consistent ritual, through showing up daily to train your attention like the valuable skill it is. Chapter 5. Use time blocking to protect your focus. Your calendar is either working for you or against you. Most people let their days happen to them. They react to whatever comes up. They let other people's priorities dictate their time. They fill their schedule with meetings, interruptions, and random tasks. Then they wonder why they never have time for focused work. Why important projects never get done. Why they're always busy but never productive. It's because they haven't protected their focus, haven't blocked time for what matters. Time blocking fixes this. Time blocking is simple. You divide your day into blocks. Each block has one purpose, one type of work, one focus. You schedule these blocks in advance. Then you protect them like they're appointments with your most important client, because they are. That client is your future. your goals, your potential. When focus time is blocked, nothing moves it. Not requests, not meetings, not urgency. It's sacred time, protected time, focus time. Start by identifying your most important work. The tasks that actually create results, that move your goals forward, that build your future. For most people, this is 2-3 hours of deep work per day. That's it. Not 8 hours, not 12 hours. Just 2-3 hours of focused, uninterrupted, high-quality work on tasks that matter. Everything else is either supporting that focused work or wasting time. Find those hours. Block them. The best time for focus blocks is usually morning. Your mind is fresh. Your decision-making is sharp. Your resistance to distraction is highest. Block your first 2-3 hours for your most important work. No email. No meetings. No calls. Just focus. This is non-negotiable time. When people ask for meetings during this time, you say, no, down. When email demands attention, it waits. When interruptions come, they're blocked. You've decided that these hours are for focused work. Everything else adjusts. But time blocking isn't just for focus work. It's for everything. Block time for email. Block time for meetings. Block time for breaks. Block time for learning. Block time for planning. When everything has a designated time, nothing bleeds into everything else. Email doesn't invade focus time. Meetings don't consume your entire day. Planning happens on schedule, not reactively. Each activity has its container, its boundary, its place. This structure might feel restrictive, but it's actually liberating. When you know exactly what you're supposed to do, and when you're supposed to do it, you eliminate decision fatigue. You don't waste energy deciding what to do next. It's already decided. You just execute. This frees enormous mental space, makes work feel simpler, makes focus feel easier, because you're not fighting with yourself about priorities. They're already set. You just follow the blocks. Time blocking also reveals how you actually spend time. When you try to block your week, you see the truth. How much time goes to meetings? How much to email? How much to interruptions? Often, people discover they have almost no time for focused work. Everything is reactive, scattered, fragmented. This realization is valuable because you can't fix what you don't see. Time blocking makes the waste visible, which lets you eliminate it. Protect your blocks fiercely. This is the hardest part, because everything will try to invade your focus time. People will want meetings. Emergencies will appear. Urgency will demand attention. But most urgency is fake. Most emergencies aren't. Most meetings accomplish nothing. You have to learn to say no. To protect your focus time like it's the most valuable thing you have. Because it is. Without protected focus time, you'll never do your best work. Never achieve your biggest goals. Never reach your potential. Build buffer blocks too. Blocks for the unexpected. For things that run over. For genuine emergencies. This prevents one disruption from destroying your entire day. If something urgent comes up during a buffer block, fine. That's what it's for. But if nothing comes up, you use it for overflow work, for planning, for catching up. Buffer blocks absorb chaos, so your focus blocks stay protected. Time blocking also works with energy levels. Block your hardest work during your peak energy hours. Block easier tasks during low energy times. Block meetings in the afternoon when deep focus is harder anyway. Match task difficulty to energy availability. This creates efficiency. You're not trying to do deep work when you're exhausted. You're not wasting peak energy on trivial tasks. You're optimizing, using your best hours for your best work. Review your blocks weekly. Look at what worked and what didn't. Where did you stay focused? Where did you get derailed? What needs adjustment? Time blocking isn't rigid. It's flexible. You adapt based on results. But you always maintain the principle. Important work gets blocked time. Protected time. Focus time. Everything else fits around it, not the other way around. Digital tools make time blocking easier. Calendar apps. Time blocking software. Whatever works for you. The tool doesn't matter. The practice does. What matters is that you see your day in blocks. That you commit to those blocks. That you protect them. The visual of a blocked calendar is powerful. It reminds you what's important, shows you where your time goes, keeps you accountable. You'll notice that as you practice time blocking, your productivity increases dramatically. Not because you're working more hours, but because more of your hours are focused. 2 hours of protected focus time produces more than 8 hours of scattered attention. That's leverage. That's efficiency. That's how you accomplish more while working less. Through intentional time blocks that protect what matters. Time blocking also reduces stress. When your time is blocked, you know when you'll handle everything. Email has its time. Work has its time. Planning has its time. You're not constantly worried about what you're not doing, because everything has a place. That mental clarity is calming. It removes the anxiety of infinite possibility. You've made decisions. Now you execute. That decisiveness is peaceful. Use time blocking to build the unbreakable focus formula. Block your focus. Time first. Everything else gets scheduled around it. This makes focus the priority instead of the afterthought. Makes it inevitable instead of optional. Makes it protected instead of vulnerable. When your calendar reflects your priorities, your life follows. Your time goes where you've directed it. Your focus strengthens because it has protected space to develop. That's how you move from scattered to focused. From reactive to intentional, from busy to productive. Through time blocking that treats focus as the valuable, protected, non-negotiable asset it truly is. Chapter 6. Train your brain to crave deep work. Your brain wants dopamine. Quick hits of pleasure. Easy rewards. That's why social media is addictive. Why junk food is tempting. Why distraction feels good. Every click, every scroll, every notification gives a tiny dopamine spike. Your brain learns. Do this, feel good. But deep work doesn't give quick dopamine. It takes time to feel rewarding. So your untrained brain resists it, seeks distraction instead, craves the easy hit over the meaningful work. This is why focus feels hard. You're fighting your own neurochemistry, but you can retrain your brain. Make it crave deep work. Make focus feel good. The key is understanding reward timing. Dopamine doesn't just respond to pleasure. It responds to anticipation of pleasure. Your brain releases dopamine when it expects a reward. Social media exploits this. Every time you check, you might see something good. That might create anticipation. Triggers dopamine. Makes you want to check again. It's intermittent reinforcement. The most addictive pattern there is. Your brain is literally being trained to crave distraction. Deep work can use the same mechanism. But you have to engineer it. Create anticipation. Create rewards. Make your brain associate focused work with good feelings. This requires deliberate practice. Start by celebrating focus itself. Every time you complete a focus session, give yourself a small reward. Maybe it's your favorite drink. Maybe it's 5 minutes of guilt-free relaxation. Maybe it's checking off a visual tracker. The reward doesn't have to be big. It just has to be consistent. Your brain needs to learn. Focused work leads to good feelings. That association is what creates the craving. Track your focus visually. Use a chain calendar. Every day you complete your focus work, mark an X, watch the chain grow. Your brain starts to anticipate the satisfaction of marking. That X starts to crave the visual proof of consistency. This is dopamine engineering. You're creating a reward structure that makes your brain want to focus. Not through willpower, through conditioning. Another powerful technique is the focus soundtrack. Choose specific music that you only play during deep work. Nothing else. Your brain will associate that music with the focused state. Over time, just hearing it triggers concentration. The music becomes a cue. A signal. Your brain recognizes it and shifts into focus mode. This is classical conditioning. Pavlov's dogs, but for your attention. It works because your brain is programmable. You're programming it for focus. Make deep work your escape, not your burden. Reframe how you think about it. Most people see focused work as the hard thing they have to do. The sacrifice. The struggle. But what if it's actually the sanctuary? The place where you're free from interruptions, free from demands, free from the chaos of constant distraction. Deep work is where you get to just be. Just create. Just think. That's not a burden. That's a gift. When you shift that perspective, your brain stops resisting, starts seeking, starts craving the peace that deep work provides. Eliminate the instant gratification alternatives. This is crucial. If easy dopamine is readily available, your brain will always choose it over the delayed reward of deep work. You have to remove the easy options. Delete social media apps from your phone. Block distracting websites during work hours. Make distraction hard to access. When the easy dopamine isn't available, your brain adapts. It finds satisfaction in what is available, which is deep work. This is environment design. You're removing competition for your brain's reward system. Build momentum through wins. Start your focus session with something achievable, something you can complete quickly. That early win releases dopamine, creates positive momentum, makes your brain more willing to continue. Then move to harder tasks. But always start with a win. This primes your reward system, gets dopamine flowing toward deep work instead of away from it. The momentum carries you through the harder parts. Use the 2-minute rule in reverse. Usually it means, if something takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. But for focus, flip it. If a distraction will take less than 2 minutes to check, it can wait. The urge to check email, it can wait. The impulse to look something up, it can wait. Train your brain that not everything needs immediate action. That waiting's okay. That focus comes first. This builds impulse control, strengthens your ability to delay gratification, which is essential for deep work. Create rituals around deep work that feel good. Maybe you make your favorite coffee before starting. Maybe you sit in a comfortable chair. Maybe you light a candle. These sensory pleasures become associated with focus time. Your brain starts to anticipate them, starts to want focus time because it means these good feelings. You're stacking positive associations, making deep work something your brain looks forward to, not dreads. Track the outcomes, not just the effort. After focused work, notice what you accomplished. Write it down. Be specific. Completed 3 pages of writing. Solved the design problem. Made significant progress on the project. These concrete outcomes create satisfaction. Your brain sees that deep work produces results. That connection between effort and outcome is reinforcing. It makes your brain want to do it again, because results feel good. And your brain is learning that focus creates results. Gradually increase the difficulty of your focus work. Start with tasks that are challenging but achievable. As your focus improves, tackle harder problems. This progressive challenge keeps your brain engaged, keeps the work interesting, prevents boredom. Your brain craves novelty and challenge. When deep work provides both, it becomes intrinsically rewarding. You're not doing it for external rewards. You're doing it because it's engaging. That's when focus becomes effortless. Share your focus practice with someone. Accountability creates social dopamine. When someone knows you're committing to focus work, you don't want to let them down. That social pressure is motivating. And when you report your wins, you get social validation, encouragement, recognition. These social rewards train your brain further. Make focus socially rewarding, not just personally rewarding. This multiplies the reinforcement. Protect your dopamine baseline. This is critical. If you're constantly spiking dopamine with junk stimuli, your baseline drops. You become numb to normal rewards. Deep work can't compete with the artificial highs of digital dopamine. You have to do a dopamine detox. Period of low stimulation. No social media. No binge watching. No constant music. Let your dopamine sensitivity recover. When your baseline is healthy, normal rewards feel good again. Deep work becomes satisfying again. Your brain can appreciate it again. Notice and savor the flow state. When you're deep in focused work, time disappears. You're completely absorbed. That's flow. That's the peak human experience. After you exit flow, take a moment to notice how good it felt. How clear. How alive. Anchor that feeling. Remember it. Your brain will want to return to it. will start to associate deep work with that transcendent state. That's a powerful reward. More powerful than any notification. Your brain just needs to experience it enough times to recognize it. Reframe struggle as growth. When focus feels hard, that's not failure. That's your brain building new pathways. Creating new capacity. Getting stronger. Like muscle soreness after a workout. It means you're growing. When you see struggle this way, it becomes evidence of progress, not proof of inadequacy. Your brain starts to interpret the difficulty as a positive sign, as something worth pushing through. Because on the other side is growth. And growth feels good. Be patient with the retraining process. Your brain won't change overnight. If you spent years training it to crave distraction, it needs time to learn a new pattern. Weeks. Maybe months. But every day of practice moves you closer. Every focus session rewires a little more. Every reward strengthens the association. The craving for deep work is built gradually, through consistent practice, through deliberate reward structures, through patience with the process. Eventually, something shifts. Focus stops feeling like something you force and starts feeling like something you want. Your brain has been retrained. The dopamine pathways have been rewired. Deep work has become intrinsically rewarding. You crave it. You look forward to it. You feel off when you don't get it. That's the goal. That's when focus becomes unbreakable. Not because you're using superhuman willpower, but because your brain has learned to love the thing that builds your future, has learned to crave depth over distraction, meaning over mindlessness, focus over chaos. That's the power of neuroplasticity. That's how you train your brain to crave deep work. Chapter 7. Recover properly to sustain peak focus. You cannot maintain peak focus indefinitely. This is biological fact. Your brain needs recovery, needs rest, needs periods of lower intensity to restore its capacity for high intensity. Yet most people ignore this. They push through fatigue. They try to focus when their brain is exhausted. They wonder why focus feels impossible. It's not a discipline problem. It's a recovery problem. You're trying to sprint a marathon. Your brain needs rest to sustain focus. Proper recovery isn't optional. It's essential. Focus depletes specific cognitive resources. Attention, working memory, executive function. These are finite. Every hour of deep focus drains these reserves. When they're empty, focus becomes impossible. No amount of willpower can override depleted cognitive resources. You have to restore them. And restoration requires specific types of recovery. Not just any rest. Strategic rest. Recovery that actually rebuilds what focus depleted. The first principle of recovery is the break. After 60-90 minutes of deep focus, take a real break. Not a phone break. Not a social media break. A true break. Stand up. Move. Look away from screens. Let your mind wander. This isn't wasted time. This is restoration time. During breaks, your brain processes what you just learned, consolidates information, clears mental clutter, prepare us for the next focus session. Without breaks, you're trying to run on empty. Quality degrades. Focus weakens. Mistakes multiply. Physical movement during breaks is crucial. Your brain needs oxygen, needs blood flow. Sitting still for hours restricts both. Stand up. Walk around. Do some stretches. Get your blood moving. This delivers fresh oxygen to your brain, clears metabolic wastes, restores alertness. Even 5 minutes of movement makes a significant difference. Your next focus session will be sharper because you moved. Because you gave your brain what it needs to function optimally. Sleep is non-negotiable for focus. Your brain does critical maintenance during sleep, clears toxins, consolidates memories, restores neurotransmitters, energy. When you're sleep-deprived, focus becomes nearly impossible. Your attention drifts constantly. Your thinking is foggy. Your impulse control is weak. You cannot build unbreakable focus on inadequate sleep. 7 to 9 hours is not optional. It's required. Treat sleep like the performance enhancer it is. Prioritize it. Protect it. Your focus depends on it. Create a wind-down routine before bed. Your brain needs transition time. Can't go from high stimulation to sleep instantly. An hour before bed, reduce stimulation. Dim lights, so here. Turn off screens. Do something calm. Read, tell. Meditate. This signals to your brain it's time to shift into rest mode. Your sleep will be deeper, more restorative. You'll wake with better focus capacity, all because you gave your brain proper transition time. Naps are powerful recovery tools. A 20-minute nap can restore significant cognitive function, refresh your attention, boost your alertness, clear mental fatigue. Pulse. But timing matters. Nap too long and you enter deep sleep. Wake up groggy. Keep it short. 20 minutes maximum. And nap early enough that it doesn't disrupt nighttime sleep. Mid-afternoon is often ideal, when energy naturally dips. A strategic nap can give you a second wave of peak focus, essentially doubling your productive hours. Nutrition affects focus more than most realize. Your brain is energy intensive, needs consistent fuel. But not just any fuel. Stable blood sugar, complex carbs, healthy fats, protein. When you eat junk food, your blood sugar spikes, then crashes. Your focus crashes with it. When you eat whole foods, your blood sugar stays stable. Your focus stays stable. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be conscious. What you eat directly impacts your ability to focus. Choose accordingly. Pen, Hund, Kernel. Pen, ein. Hydration is equally important. Even mild dehydration impairs cognitive function, affects attention, slows processing, creates mental fatigue. Keep water accessible. Drink consistently throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty. Thirst is a late indicator. By then, you're already dehydrated. Your focus is already compromised. Stay ahead of it. Hydrate proactively. Your brain is mostly water. Give it what it needs to function optimally. Manage stress for sustainable focus. Chronic stress floods your system with cortisol. Cortisol impairs memory, weakens attention, makes focus nearly impossible. You have to manage stress actively. Through exercise, through meditation, through time in nature, through social connection, through whatever works for you. Stress management isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for your health, for your performance, for your ability to focus when it matters. Built in true rest days, not just days off work. Days where you do nothing cognitively demanding. No emails, no projects, no planning, just rest. Your brain needs these. Needs time to recover fully, to restore completely. Elite athletes have rest days. Your brain is no different. It needs periodic, complete recovery. Without it, you're in constant deficit. Focus capacity slowly degrades. Burnout creeps in. Rest days prevent this. They're an investment in sustained peak performance. Vary your work intensity. You can't do deep focus work 8 hours a day. It's not possible. But you can structure your day to maximize your deep work capacity. Do your hardest focus work during your peak hours. 2 to 3 hours of true deep work. Then shift to lighter tasks. Email, meetings, administrative work. This variability allows for recovery even during the workday. You're not trying to sustain peak intensity constantly. You're strategically deploying it when it matters most. Nature exposure aids recovery. Time outside, especially in green spaces, reduces mental fatigue and restores attention, improves mood. This isn't New Age nonsense. It's documented science. Nature provides effortless stimulation. Your attention can rest while still being engaged. Even 20 minutes outside improves subsequent focus. Make it part of your recovery protocol. Walk outside during breaks. Eat lunch in a park. Your brain will thank you with better focus. Social connection is recovery too. Not all socializing, not draining interactions, but genuine connection with people you care about. Laughter, torrency, conversation, shared experience. This is restorative. Releases oxytocin and morphine. Reduces stress. Improves mood. All of which support focus. You're not a focus machine. You're a human. Humans need connection. Make time for it. It's not distracting from your goals. It's supporting them by keeping you balanced, energized, psychologically healthy. I monitor your recovery through focus quality. If focus is getting harder, if you're fighting more distractions, if quality is dropping, these are signs you need more recovery. Listen to them. Don't push through chronic fatigue. That's how you burn out. That's how you destroy your long-term focus capacity. Better to take a rest day and come back strong than to push through and continue declining. Recovery is not weakness. It's wisdom. Create recovery rituals just like you have focus rituals. End your workday with a shutdown ritual. Close your laptop, but clear your desk. Write down tomorrow's priorities. Then be done. Mentally disconnect. This boundary between work and rest is essential. Without it, you never fully recover. Your brain is always partially on, always somewhat engaged. That prevents true restoration. The shutdown ritual creates permission to rest, makes recovery deliberate instead of accidental. Remember, you're building unbreakable focus for the long term, not just for tomorrow, for years, for decades. That requires sustainability. And sustainability requires recovery. You can't sprint forever. You have to pace yourself. Balance intensity with rest. Push hard with recover well. That balance is what makes peak performance sustainable. What makes focus unbreakable over time. Not through constant effort, but through intelligent effort. Act by proper recovery. That respects your biology. That works with your brain instead of against it. That's how you build focus that lasts. Through practice and recovery. Intensity and rest. Push and restore. That's the complete formula. Chapter 8. Defend your focus against digital addiction. Digital addiction is real. Your phone, social media, constant connectivity. These aren't just habits. They are addictions, engineered to be addictive. Designed by teams of psychologists and programmers who understand exactly how to hijack your attention. How to trigger dopamine. How to create compulsive behavior. They're winning. Your attention is being stolen. Your focus is being destroyed. Not by accident. By design, hoped. If you want unbreakable focus, you have to fight back. You have to defend your attention against digital addiction. The numbers are staggering. Average person checks their phone 96 times per day. That's every 10 minutes while awake. Average daily screen time is over 4 hours. 4 hours of fragmented attention, of dopamine hits, of context switching. This isn't neutral. This is destructive. Every check fractures your focus. Every notification interrupts your flow. Every scroll trains your brain to crave distraction. You cannot build deep focus while feeding digital addiction. You have to break it. Start by understanding the mechanisms. Social media platforms use infinite scroll. No natural stopping point. Your brain never gets the satisfaction of completion. Always one more post, one more video, one more story. This keeps you hooked, keeps you scrolling. Intermittent rewards amplify this. Sometimes you see something interesting, sometimes you don't. That unpredictability is what makes it addictive. Like a slot machine. Your brain keeps pulling the lever, hoping for the next reward. Notifications are interruption by design. Every buzz, every banner, every sound. These are engineered to grab your attention, to make you check, to pull you out of whatever you're doing and into the app. They exploit your fear of missing out, your desire to be connected, your need to respond. But every notification you allow is training your brain to be distractible, to value interruption over focus, to prioritize reaction over creation. The first step in breaking digital addiction is awareness. Track your phone usage. Most phones have built-in tools for this. Look at the data. Be honest about how much time you're spending. What apps consume the most time? How many times you pick up your phone? The numbers will probably shock you. Good. That shock is motivation. That's the wake-up call you need to take action. Next, remove the most addictive apps from your phone. Social media, news apps, gaming apps. Whatever consumes most of your time. Delete them. Completely. Off your phone. But I need them for work. No, you don't. You can access them on your computer during specific times. You don't need 24/7 access. The convenience of having them on your phone is destroying your focus. Remove the convenience. Make them harder to access. Your brain will adapt. Turn off all non-essential notifications. All of them. Email doesn't need notifications. Social media definitely doesn't. News doesn't. Messages from most people don't. The only notifications you might keep are calls from important contacts. Everything else is interruption. Everything else is focus-killing distraction. Turn it off. Check things on your schedule, not theirs. Use grayscale mode on your phone. Colors are stimulating. Designed to be attractive. To draw your eye. To make apps appealing. While turn everything to grayscale, your phone becomes less appealing, less stimulating, less addictive. This simple change reduces phone usage significantly because the visual reward is diminished. Your brain gets less dopamine from looking at a gray screen, so it's less motivated to check constantly. Create phone-free zones and times. Your bedroom should be phone-free. Use an actual alarm clock. Not your phone. Your dining table should be phone-free. Be present during meals. Your focus work time should be phone-free. Phone in another room. Out of sight. Out of reach. These boundaries protect your attention. Create space for focus, for presence, for life beyond the screen. Replace digital habits with analog ones. When you feel the urge to check your phone, do something else. Read a physical book. Write in a journal. Go for a walk. Have a conversation. Your brain is seeking stimulation. Give it healthy stimulation instead of digital dopamine. This retrains your reward pathways. Teaches your brain that satisfaction comes from real activities, not screen activities. Practice phone fasting. Regular periods of complete disconnection. One or actions. Start with a few hours, then a day, then a weekend. During these fasts, notice what happens. The initial anxiety, the constant urge to check, the phantom vibrations. These are withdrawal symptoms, proof of addiction, but push through them. On the other side is clarity, calm, present. That's what life feels like without digital addiction. That's what you're fighting for. Use apps that limit your phone usage. Ironic, but effective. Apps that block other apps after certain usage. That create friction before opening addictive apps. That track and shame you with your usage data. Whatever works. The goal is to make phone usage conscious instead of automatic, to create barriers between impulse and action. So you notice you're reaching for your phone and can choose differently. Change your relationship with email. Email is not urgent. Stop treating it like it is. Check email twice a day. Maximum. Morning and afternoon. Specific times. Not constantly. Not whenever a notification appears. Batch process it. Respond to everything at once. Then close it. This removes email as a constant interruption, as a focus destroyer. It becomes a task you do at designated times, not a stream of interruptions throughout the day. Understand that digital connection is not the same as real connection. Scrolling through social media doesn't make you less lonely. It makes you more lonely. Because you're seeing curated highlights of others' lives while feeling inadequate about your own. True connection happens in person. Through conversation. Through presence. Digital platforms are poor substitutes. They give the illusion of connection while delivering isolation. Recognize this. Choose real connection over digital simulation. Be mindful of digital content consumption. Not all screen time is equal. Using your computer for deep work is different than scrolling TikTok. Watching an educational documentary is different than binge-watching sitcoms. Conscious consumption is different than compulsive consumption. The issue isn't screens themselves. It's how you use them. Are you using technology as a tool? Or is it using you as a user? That distinction matters. Teach yourself to sit with boredom. This is crucial. Digital addiction is partially a flight from boredom. You feel bored. You reach for your phone. Instant stimulation. But boredom is valuable. It's where creativity lives. Where thinking happens. Where thinking happens. Where ideas emerge. When you eliminate all boredom with digital distraction, you eliminate the space where your mind does its best work. Learn to be bored. Sit with it. Let your mind wander. That wandering is where insights come from. Recognize the opportunity cost of digital addiction. Every hour on your phone is an hour not spent building your future. Not learning. Not creating. Not connecting meaningfully. Not resting. The time doesn't just disappear. It's actively taking away from things that matter. When you see it this way, the cost becomes clear. The sacrifice becomes obvious. That clarity makes it easier to change. Easier to defend your focus against digital addiction. This isn't about demonizing technology. Technology is a tool, powerful and useful when used properly. But current usage patterns are not proper. They're addictive, destructive, focus-killing. You have to reclaim control, have to use technology instead of being used by it, have to defend your attention against platforms designed to steal it. This is a fight. But it's a fight you can win. Through awareness, through boundaries, through choosing focus over addiction, through defending your attention like the valuable resource it is. Your focus depends on it. Your future depends on it. Start fighting back today. Chapter 9. Scale your focus from minutes to hours to days. Building unbreakable focus isn't just about concentrating for 25 minutes. That's the start. But true focus power comes from sustaining attention for extended periods. From scaling your focus from minutes to hours to entire days of deep work. This is how major breakthroughs happen. How complex problems get solved. How meaningful work gets created. But scaling focus requires progression. You can't jump from 25-minute sessions to 8-hour deep work days. You build up gradually, systematically, intelligently. Start where you are. If 25 minutes of focus feels challenging, that's your baseline. No judgment. No shame. Everyone starts somewhere. The point is to start. Do 25-minute focus sessions consistently. Build the habit. Train your attention. Prove to yourself that you can focus. Once 25 minutes feels comfortable, once you can do it consistently without fighting yourself, you're ready to scale. Move to 40-minute sessions. Not 30. Not 35. 40. 40. There's something about 40 minutes. It's long enough to get into real work. Short enough that your brain doesn't panic. Practice 40-minute sessions until they feel natural. Until your focus holds steady for the entire time. Until you stop counting minutes and start losing yourself in the work. That's your signal to scale again. Next is 60 minutes. A full hour of uninterrupted focus. This is a significant milestone. Most people never reach this. They believe they can't focus for an hour. But you can. You've built the capacity through progressive practice. An hour session lets you accomplish serious work. Solve real problems. Create meaningful output. This is where focus becomes powerful, where it stops being a productivity tactic and becomes a creative force. The transition from 60 to 90 minutes is crucial. 90 minutes is the sweet spot for deep work. It's long enough for flow states, long enough for breakthroughs, long enough to make real progress on complex tasks, but short enough that your brain can sustain it without excessive fatigue. Many elite performers use 90-minute blocks as their standard work unit. This isn't arbitrary. It aligns with your brain's natural rhythms, your ultradian cycles, working with your biology instead of against it. Once you can do 90-minute sessions, you can do multiple sessions per day. That's how you scale to hours. 2 90-minute sessions equals 3 hours of deep work. That's more than most people do in a week. 3 sessions equals 4.5 hours. That's world-class levels of deep focus. But you can only sustain multiple sessions if you recover between them. 15 to 20-minute breaks between sessions. Real breaks. Movement, height, fresh air, mental rest. Then you can return for another session. Without breaks, quality degrades. With breaks, you can maintain peak focus across multiple sessions. Scaling to a full day of focused work is the ultimate goal. But this doesn't mean 8 hours of intense concentration. That's impossible. Even the most focused people can't sustain that. A focused day means structuring your entire day around focus principles. Deep work sessions for your most important tasks. Lighter work for less demanding tasks. Strategic breaks for recovery. No digital distractions. No interruptions. No context switching. The whole day is designed for focus. That's a focused day. Key to scaling is maintaining quality over quantity. It's better to do 2 high-quality 90-minute sessions than 6 mediocre ones. Don't push yourself into fatigue just to hit a number. Focus quality matters more than focus duration. When quality starts to drop, stop. Rest. Return tomorrow. Sustainable practice trumps heroic effort. You're building a skill for life, not just for today. Your capacity will fluctuate. Some days, 90 minutes feels easy. Some days, 40 minutes feels hard. That's normal. Your energy varies. Your sleep varies. Your stress varies. Don't fight it. On low-capacity days, do shorter sessions. On high-capacity days, go longer. Listen to your body. Respect your limits. This flexibility makes the practice sustainable. You're not locked into rigid requirements. You're scaling based on current capacity. Track your scaling progress. Keep a log. Mark your session lengths. Note how they feel. Watch your capacity grow over time. This data is motivating. Proves you're improving. Shows that the practice works. On days when focus feels hard, you can look back and see how far you've come. That perspective helps you push through temporary struggles. Reminds you that capacity is built gradually through consistent practice. Environmental factors support scaling. As sessions get longer, comfort matters more. Make sure your chair supports you. Your lighting is good. Your temperature is comfortable. These details don't matter for short sessions, but for long ones, discomfort becomes distraction. Optimize your environment for extended focus. Small improvements compound over long sessions. Nutrition and hydration become more important as you scale. A 25-minute session doesn't drain you. A 90-minute session does. Have water available, maybe a light snack. Nothing heavy that makes you sluggish, but enough fuel that your brain doesn't hit empty mid-session. This is performance optimization. Treating focus like the athletic endeavor it is. Mental preparation helps with longer sessions. Before a 90-minute session, take a moment. Clarify your goal. Visualize completion. Set your intention. This primes your brain, gets it ready for extended focus. Without preparation, your mind might resist, might doubt your ability to sustain attention. But with preparation, with clear intention, you signal to your brain, we're doing this. We're ready. Let's go. Celebrate scaling milestones. First 60-minute session. First 90 minutes session. First day of multiple deep work sessions. These are achievements. Not everyone reaches them. Most people never develop this capacity. You have. That deserves recognition. Acknowledgement. Pride. This celebration reinforces the behavior. Makes your brain want to do it again. Want to keep scaling. Keep improving. Eventually, extended focus becomes your normal. What once felt impossible now feels natural. You can drop into deep focus easily. Sustain it for hours. Your default mode shifts from distracted to focused. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It takes months of practice. But it does happen. Your brain adapts. Your capacity grows. What seemed impossible becomes routine. That's the power of progressive scaling, of patient, consistent practice, of refusing to rush the process while refusing to stop the progress. Remember why you're scaling. It's not to impress anyone. It's to build capability, to create work that matters, to solve problems that matter, to reach your potential. Unbreakable focus at scale is what makes this possible. It's how you move from average to exceptional, from busy to impactful, from scattered to powerful. This is why you practice, why you scale, why you build this skill systematically. Because on the other side of developed focus capacity is the life you actually want, the work you actually care about, the impact you actually seek. All of it waiting for you to develop the focus to build it. So keep scaling. Keep practicing. Keep growing your capacity. One session at a time. One day at a time. Until unbreakable focus becomes who you are. Not what you do, but who you are. Chapter 10. Live the focus formula every single day. Everything you've learned means nothing without implementation. You can understand every principle, master every technique, but if you don't live it daily, you haven't built anything. The unbreakable focus formula only works when it becomes your life. Not something you do occasionally. Not something you try when convenient. Something you live. Every single day. That consistency is what makes focus unbreakable. Makes it permanent. Makes it yours. Daily implementation starts with deciding that focus is non-negotiable. Not a goal. Not an aspiration. A requirement. Like breathing. Like eating. Like sleeping. You don't negotiate whether to breathe. You just do it. Focus must be the same. You've decided that focused work is how you live. That deep work is your priority. That protecting your attention is your responsibility. This decision removes the daily debate. Removes the maybe. You've already decided. Now you just execute. Built a daily focus routine. Same time every day. Same preparation. Same ritual. This consistency trains your brain. Removes friction. Total. Maintenance. Poor hand. I bought it up to you. Did kind sets. Makes focus automatic. Your routine might look like this. Wake up. No phone. Morning ritual. Sit at your focus space. Timer set. Work begins. That's it. Simple. Null. Repeatable. Sustainable. Simplicity is what makes it work. You're not relying on motivation. You're relying on routine. And routines execute themselves once established. Protect your morning. This is critical. Your morning hours are your most valuable focus time for most people. Don't waste them on email. Don't waste them on meetings. Don't waste them on social media. Use them for your most important work. The work that requires your sharpest focus. The work that moves your biggest goals forward. Morning focus is sacred. Defend it fiercely. This single habit will transform your productivity more than any other. Review your focus daily. Every evening, reflect. How much focused work did you do? What distracted you? What worked well? What needs adjustment? This review keeps you accountable, keeps you learning, keeps you improving. Without reflection, you repeat mistakes. With reflection, you evolve. Your focus practice gets sharper, more refined, more effective. Daily review is how good becomes great. Weekly planning supports daily focus. Every week, identify your most important tasks, the ones that actually move your life forward. Schedule a focus time for them. Put them on your calendar. In your prime focus hours. This ensures that important work gets focused attention. That you're not just busy, but productive. Not just working, but building. Weekly planning makes daily focus purposeful, directional, meaningful. Adapt the formula to your life. The principles stay the same, but the application is personal. Maybe your peak hours are different. Maybe your session lengths vary. Maybe your recovery needs are unique. That's fine. The formula is flexible. What's not flexible is the commitment to focus, to eliminating distractions, to single tasking, to recovery, to daily practice. These principles apply universally, but how you implement them is yours to design. Track your long-term progress, not just daily or weekly, but monthly, quarterly, daily. Look back at where you started, where you are now. How has your focus capacity changed? How has your work quality improved? What have you accomplished that required sustained focus? This long-term view is inspiring. Shows you that the practice works. That consistency pays off. That you're building something real, something valuable, something permanent. Share your practice with others, not to brag, but to help, to inspire, to create accountability. When others know you're committed to focus, you're more likely to maintain it. When you help others develop focus, you deepen your own understanding. Teaching clarifies, sharing reinforces. Community supports. You're not doing this alone. Others are fighting for their focus too. Connect with them. Learn from them. Support them. Rise together. Expect resistance. There will be days you don't want to focus. Days when distraction feels appealing. Days when you question the whole thing. That's normal. That's human. Resistance doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're alive. The key is not eliminating resistance. It's acting despite it. Some days, focus will feel effortless. Some days, it'll feel like trudging through mud. You show up anyway. That's commitment. That's how you build unbreakable focus. Through consistency that includes the hard days. Especially the hard days. Celebrate your wins. Every day you complete your focus work, acknowledge it. Every week you maintain consistency, recognize it. Every month you improve, honor it. This celebration isn't ego. It's fuel. It keeps you going. keeps you motivated, keeps you connected to why this matters. You're building something rare, something valuable, something that most people never develop. That deserves celebration. Forgive your failures. You'll have days where you don't focus well, where distractions win, where you fall short of your standards. Don't let that become identity. You're not someone who can't focus. You're someone building focus. Building anything includes setbacks, includes mistakes, includes days where it doesn't work. That's the process. What matters is that you return, that you try again tomorrow, that one bad day doesn't become two. Forgiveness keeps you in the game. Shame pushes you out. Remember your why. Why does focus matter to you? What are you building? What's possible with unbreakable focus that isn't possible without it? Connect to that regularly, daily if needed. Your why is your fuel. When the practice feels pointless, your why reminds you it's not. When resistance is high, your why pushes you through. When you want to quit, your why makes you stay. Never lose sight of it. It's your North Star, your reminder, your reason for doing this work. The unbreakable focus formula is complete. You have all pieces. Eliminate distractions. Master single-tasking Kindle. Build deliberate practice rituals. Protect your time through blocking. Train your brain to crave deep work. Recover properly to sustain performance. Defend against digital addiction. Scale your capacity progressively. And now, live it daily, every single day, without exception, without negotiation, without retreat. This is not a temporary experiment. This is a lifestyle, a commitment, a choice about who you are and how you live. People with unbreakable focus don't have some special gift. They made a decision. Then they honored that decision daily, through consistency, through discipline, through refusing to let distractions win. You can make the same decision. You can live the same way. You can build the same capacity. The world will not support this choice. The world wants your attention, wants you distracted, wants you scattered. That's where profit lives. In your fractured attention, in your impulsive behavior, in your constant connectivity. The world benefits from your distraction. You benefit from your focus. This is war. And you must choose a side. Choose yourself. Choose focus. Choose the life that deep work creates. Living the focus formula daily means accepting that you'll be different. You won't check your phone constantly like others. You won't be available 24/7. You won't engage with every trend. You won't scatter your attention across a dozen things. You'll be focused, selective, intentional. Some people won't understand. Some will judge. Some will feel threatened by your discipline. Let them. You're not living for their approval. You're living for your potential. You'll notice changes beyond productivity. Your thinking becomes clearer. Your decisions improve. Your stress decreases. Your satisfaction increases. Focus affects everything. It's not just about getting more done. It's about being more present, more intentional, more alive. When you're deeply focused, you're fully here, not worried about the past, not anxious about the future, just engaged with now. That presence is where life actually happens, where meaning exists, where joy lives. The results will compound. First month, you'll notice improved work quality. First quarter, you'll see significant progress on important projects. First year, you'll achieve things you couldn't have without sustained focus. 5 years, your life will be unrecognizable. Not through dramatic events, through consistent, focused effort, through showing up daily to do deep work, through protecting your attention like the valuable asset it is. That's how transformation happens. Quietly. Steadily. Inevitably. Your identity will shift. You'll stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles with focus. You'll become someone who focuses. It's not what you do. It's who you are. This identity change is powerful. It removes doubt, removes internal conflict. You are not fighting yourself anymore. You're not trying to become focused. You are focused. That certainty makes everything easier. Makes the practice feel natural. Makes focus your default instead of your struggle. Maintain perspective. Building unbreakable focus is not the end. It's the means. The end is the life you create with that focus. The work you produce. The problems you solve. The growth you experience. The impact you make. Focus is the tool. What matters is what you build with it. Never lose sight of that. You're not pursuing focus for its own sake. You're pursuing it because of what it enables. The life it makes possible. The person it helps you become. Stay humble. Even with unbreakable focus, you're still human. Still fallible. Still learning. The moment you think you've mastered it completely is the moment you stop growing. There's always deeper focus. Always better systems. Always more to learn. Maintain beginner's mind. Stay curious. Keep experimenting. Keep refining. The practice never ends. The improvement never stops. That's the beauty of it. There's always another level. Always room to grow. Teach others. Once you've built your own unbreakable focus, help others build theirs. Share what you've learned. Show them it's possible. Guide them through the struggles you've faced. This isn't about being superior. It's about lifting others. Focus should not be rare. Should not be reserved for the elite. Everyone deserves the ability to concentrate, to do deep work, to achieve their potential. By teaching, you make that possible. You multiply your impact. You create a world where focus is normal instead of exceptional. This is your path forward. The unbreakable focus formula is not theory. It's practice. Daily, consistent, committed practice. You know what to do. You have the tools. You understand the principles. What remains is simple. Do it every day. Without fail. Without excuse. Without excuse. Start tomorrow morning. Or better yet, start today. Right now. This moment. Close this book. Turn off distractions. Set a timer. And focus. Let that be your first rep, the first of thousands. The beginning of your transformation from scattered to focused. From distracted to concentrated. From average to exceptional. The world needs your focused work. Your undistracted attention. Your deep contributions. They're waiting. On the other side of your commitment to this formula. On the other side of your decision to live differently. On the other side of your unbreakable focus. everything you want to build, everything you want to become, everything you want to achieve. It's all possible, but only through focus. Sustained, deep, unbreakable focus. You have the formula. Now, build your focus. Build it deliberately. Build it daily. Build it until it's unbreakable. Until nothing can distract you. Until your attention is fully yours. Until focus is not something you try to have, but something you simply are. That's the promise of this formula. That's what's waiting for you. Not someday. Not eventually. But through the daily practice of focused work. Starting now. Starting today. Starting with this very moment. Your future is focused. Make it unbreakable. You now possess something most people never develop, a complete system for building unbreakable focus. Not motivation that fades. Not willpower that depletes. But a formula. A systematic approach to developing the skill that determines everything else. Focus is not optional in a world designed to distract you. It's essential. It's survival. It's the difference between living with intention and drifting through life. Between achieving your potential and wondering what could have been. The formula is clear. Value your attention as your most precious resource. Eliminate distractions systematically, not through willpower, but through environment design. Master single tasking in a world addicted to multitasking. Build deliberate practice rituals that trigger your focused state. Protect your time through blocking that treats focus as non-negotiable. Train your brain to crave depth instead of distraction. Recover properly so your focus capacity grows instead of depletes. Defend fiercely against digital addiction that's engineered to steal your attention. Scale your capacity progressively from minutes to hours to entire days of deep work. And most importantly, live this formula daily. Every single day. Without exception. This is not easy. If it were, everyone would have unbreakable focus. But it is simple. The principles are clear. The practices are defined. The path is laid out. What remains is your commitment. Your willingness to choose differently. To live differently. To value your attention enough to protect it. To value your potential enough to develop it. To value your life enough to focus on what actually matters. The resistance will come from the world, from others, from yourself. That resistance is proof that you're doing something important, something that matters, something that creates real change. Easy things don't create resistance. Transformative things do. When you feel that resistance, don't retreat. Lean in. That's where growth lives. That's where your unbreakable focus is being forged. Remember that every person you admire for their achievements, for their impact, for their excellence, they all had one thing in common: the ability to focus deeply for extended periods. They weren't more talented. They weren't luckier. They were more focused. They developed the capacity to concentrate when others got distracted. To go deep when others stayed shallow. To sustain attention when others scattered it. That's not a gift. That's a skill. And you can build the same skill through the same commitment. Your focus journey starts now. Not someday. Not next week. Not when conditions are perfect. Now. 2. Today. This hour. This moment. Take the first step. Eliminate one distraction. Complete one focused session. Block 1 hour for deep work tomorrow. Small actions compound. In the scenes for the year don't say, or digit out, there. One focused session becomes a habit. One habit becomes a practice. One practice becomes a lifestyle. One lifestyle becomes an identity. You become someone whose focus is unbreakable, not through dramatic transformation, through daily commitment, through consistent practice, through refusing to let your attention be stolen anymore. The life you want requires focus. The work you dream of creating requires focus. The person you want to become requires focus. Everything meaningful requires sustained, deep, concentrated attention. This is not an exaggeration. This is reality. Without focus, you're building on sand. With focus, you're building on bedrock. Everything you construct will stand firm because it's built through concentrated effort, through undistracted attention, through unbreakable focus. You have the formula. You have the knowledge. You have the tools. What you do with them is your choice, your responsibility, your opportunity. Will you continue living distracted, scattered, reactive, or will you build unbreakable focus? Will you reclaim your attention? Will you develop the capacity that unlocks everything else? The choice is yours. But understand this, the choice you make today determines the life you live tomorrow, and the day after, and the year after. Choose focus. Choose depth. Choose to build attention so strong that nothing can break it. Choose the life that unbreakable focus creates. Not the easy life. Not the comfortable life. But the meaningful life. The impactful life. The life that makes you proud. That's what unbreakable focus gives you. Not just productivity. Not just achievement. But the ability to live intentionally, powerfully, fully. That's worth every bit of effort this formula requires. Your focus is waiting to be built. Your potential is waiting to be unlocked. Your future is waiting to be created. All through the power of sustained, deep, unbreakable attention. Stop waiting. Stop wishing. Stop hoping. Today. Now. No tea. This moment. Make your focus unbreakable. Then watch everything else fall into place.